Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today we've got some high impact news, including PMI and oil inventory this morning. Let's see how our strategies fare right after the intro. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that you put out there is at risk for loss. As I mentioned, yes, we've got a pretty big high impact news cycle morning. So we've got PMI coming out this morning. There is BOC rate statement 8:45 Central Time, and then the one that they're actually all important because they all will give you certain spikes, and if you're in a trade, that could affect you. Oil inventory this morning is at 9:30, which is its kind of regular time that the report comes out, and that provides a lot of volatility in the oil market. So generally speaking, I don't like trading, or I don't like having an open trade while the report comes out. But since session two in oil has been doing so well, and that's the session that I plan on taking this morning. So I plan on taking gold and oil session two. We're gonna have to see how that works out. It there might be a chance that I even sit out oil altogether today. So, and I'll kind of give you guys, if I do take the trade, what I'm looking at, what I see in the charts, and we'll take it kind of from there. So yesterday was pretty pretty rough with the morning strategies. Last Friday we went over. I'm sorry, 3-0. Yeah, Monday 3-0. Yesterday we went 0 for 3. So we got activated into a small oil trade session one. We got activated to the short, ripped up, took a loss there. Same scenario in session two. So both oil sessions yesterday were losers. And gold, I believe, was the nasty one. That was the one that just kind of came in really quick. Let me just blow this up here a little bit. And same thing, we got activated to the short. We got activated to the short at that 8:15 inside candle, and that one was a very quick. We got wicked in, wicked out for full stop loss, and then just kind of ripped after that. There was a lot of consolidation, as I mentioned in my video yesterday. Didn't like price action at all in gold. Oil had some good movement. We were just on the wrong side of those trades. And then to compound my losses from yesterday, Rob reversal gets activated yesterday to the short. We get a decent push downwards. This thing reverses and knocks me out for the 35 points. So, of course, we do an updated video on it. I think this trade had been 5-0 for me prior to that, and then we take our first loss there. But again, I mentioned it yesterday in my video. These strategies will go through some hot periods. We went 6-0 in 2 days. You can make some very good money in that. Then you get a day like yesterday where it's 0-3. And that's kind of been the norm for like the last 45 days. I even had a comment on it in my Discord yesterday about that. I would say for the majority of the time that I've been trading this strategy, even on the bad days, you would go maybe 1 for 3 or, 1 for 2, depending if it was oil inventory. It just seems to be like one or the other. It's either all hits or they're all losses. So, and it's part of trading. That is part of, having faith in your strategy and having faith to come back the next day and put on the same trades. And most importantly, not necessarily retinkering your entire strategy because you have one losing day. Because if that's what you think you need to do, then your strategy sucks, or your trading mentality is not right. Your position sizing might not be right. So these are things that I constantly talk about because these are things that traders struggle with. And I am not immune from that. It's very easy. I'm going to be honest with you. Last night, I had about an hour and a half to kill, and opened up TradingView. And I was just looking at charts. And I was looking at the NQ. I was looking at the ES. And I really, for some reason, I love looking at charts, especially futures charts. And I like to see patterns. I almost try to visualize strategies in my head. And I was looking at them. And not to change a strategy or to come up with a new one, but just because I love to look. And it's very easy when you start looking at charts to immediately see, well, this looks like that would work. And then you back test a few days, seems like it's working. And then you keep going, and then you go through some losses, and you're like, well, that was not, you start seeing some losses in the charts, but you start to overthink them. Then you start changing your take profit, changing your stop loss to make things work. But then would the original trades that you were looking at work? So be very careful about constantly tinkering and adjusting. I'm not saying that you can't, because obviously you have to. You've noticed that I have put a pause on my session 1 in oil just because I'm looking for win rate. I need an edge in my win rate to stay profitable. So, and you better believe that I'm still tracking session 1. Obviously, I commented here. It's like a video journal of all my trades. And, if that edge comes back, boom, put it right back in the arsenal. But those are the things that you got to do as a trader to, one, stay in this game as long as possible, hopefully forever, if that's what you want to do. And that's what I got this morning. Let's see where our Top Step, where we're at. So yesterday we took a loss. We are currently sitting at 50,462. So we are a profit of 462 out of 3,000, which is our goal. And again, let's see here. If we can, what trades we take this morning. Stick around for my recap. If you're looking to get funded, there's a link below to my Top Step affiliate link if you want to follow along with us. See you in a little bit. All right, so we've got an inside bar forming on gold. We are a couple of seconds here away from news coming out. If you can notice on my chart, I positioned down to the micro version of gold, so the MGC. And I just did that for risk tolerance. Huge source candle next to it. Know that the news is going to release. I know that there's an inside bar.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order canceled.
I mean, that was a tough one. It was so quick.
Order filled.
That it didn't even let me. It didn't even give me a chance to get my bracket orders in there. So only able to get $47 on there. And that's what happens. This is what happens when you activate a trade right at news. You're going to get these huge wicks. So a little unfortunate I wasn't able to take profit there, but that's okay. Still in the green. My profit is only $47 today. To be honest with you, I'm extremely happy with how I traded. And I know that might sound strange because I was only able to take really one trade. I only made 47 bucks today. Yes, it's in the green, but it's not about the dollar amount today. It's not about the P&L. It's about the trading decisions that I made. I had a game plan this morning, and my game plan was to try to look for a trade in gold. For those of you that are new to the channel, the strategies for gold and oil, they're linked below in the description. Very simple rules-based conditions, trades that really anyone can do. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take a gold trade this morning. My plan was to skip session 1 of oil just because I have been skipping session 1 since I made the decision on Friday of last week. And I want to see more positive numbers come out of session 1 before I add that back into my trading, into my normal trading routine. So, as you guys just saw, let me pull up gold. Let's start with gold. And this is why when I mention my video, I created a video on 5 simple steps to take every single morning to get ready for the trading day. One of those rules, or one of those steps that I take every morning, and it's just a routine from the time that my alarm clock goes off to the time I step into the shower to the time that I get fully dressed, come down, make my coffee, open up my charts, open up my news, which I use Financial Juice, no plug, no affiliation with them, but that's the site that I use. I get that question a lot. I will take a look at what high impact news there is coming up in today's trading day. And I also look for headlines on anything that might be relevant to oil or to gold. And based on that, I try to come up with a strategy for the day. So oil inventory, I already told my Discord, I am not trading a second session in oil prior to oil inventory. I just wasn't going to take it. Now, there was also news that I had mentioned to everyone at 8:45, which we had PMI numbers, and we had BOC rate decisions. So here is the gold. You guys saw it live. What did I do? I knew that we had an inside bar forming at 8:40, closing at 8:45, which meant it was going to close right at the news release. You're able to see on my chart that I went down from a full E-mini contract, which is what I normally trade, which is the GC, and I scaled down to the micro version of gold. So I lowered my positioning size because I knew that there was going to be very strong volatility strictly because of the news. And I knew that news was going to be hitting right at 8:45. So you guys saw I scaled down. And here's the second part to that. When you've got a trade that's activating right at news release, edge is gone. The edge is completely gone, I would say, in almost any strategy, unless you have some type of strategy that is specific to trading high impact news. I don't have that. So what happens? You saw it. The wick just boom. I didn't even have a chance to move my bracket orders. A lot of people in Discord couldn't get into this trade. They had errors that popped up on their charting software. And what happened to me in particular is that in gold, I have my bracket orders. Once I get into an order, I have a default bracket order of 25 ticks, stop loss, take profit. Because that's about the average trade that I do in gold. And then from there, I'll adjust it based on my rules and my conditions on my trade to the proper stop loss and the proper take profit. I didn't even have a chance at that. It just wicked down. Luckily for me, wicked down in my favor here. Now, if you were able to fully get this strategy done, which I can't see many traders being able to do that, if you had your short entry right underneath the wick plus a tick, max candle, 35 ticks, this would have gotten your full take profit. Again, if you're able to do that, excuse me, if you're able to do that, you're awesome. Good job. Oil. Let's pull up oil. So oil was a real bummer. Oil in session 1, I didn't take this trade. We get an inside bar at 8:20 in the morning. We get activated to the short. This thing comes exactly 1 tick away from full take profit, reverses, and knocks you out for a full stop loss. I wasn't in this trade. At 9:30 in the morning, this is when oil inventory report comes out, Central Time. So look at this wick, look at this candle, huge candle. And then what formed next was almost going to be an inside bar. In fact, I was thinking, because this thing closed right in the middle of this, right at the middle of this entire bar. So I was thinking to myself, more than likely this is going to be an inside bar. And I would have probably, if I took this trade, I would have reduced my size into the micro version of the CL. Now, we obviously did not get activated into session 2 at all. There was no inside bar for us to even trade. So no trade there. Rob reversal. We had a nice little rip here. Almost got into this trade. This was off probably by a point. Yeah, probably like a point, maybe a point and a tick. Where this would have been a beauty trade here, because this would have been a great setup. But didn't get a setup here. Got a setup short here at 10 o'clock and invalidated because obviously closing above the ADMA. So these are the things. I mean, you know, as a trader, you have to be aware of what is going on in the market. Now, can you be aware of everything? Absolutely not. There's going to be scenarios where you've got some like black swan events. You get news event that just hits, some kind of international report, something happens. Productivity in oil for one reason or the other gets shut off or cut off, or there's many different things that will come up like this. But it doesn't mean that we can't be prepared for the things that we know are going to be coming out. The rest, we can't be prepared for that. The stuff that we know is coming, those are the things that you need to be prepared at, and you need to adjust accordingly. I went into that trade once I reduced down, knowing that news was coming out, and I knew that my edge was very slight, probably shouldn't maybe even take the trade. But I knew once I reduced my size and my positioning, cool as a cucumber. Didn't really even have a chance to even think about it because thing just took off in a second. I think that trade lasted a second or two. So only up $47 today. Happy with the way I traded. Listen, I'm hoping you guys are liking the content that I'm coming out with. I try to keep it obviously as real as possible. You know, if you like any of these strategies, including my 15-minute NQ, oil, gold, the links for the strategies are below. The link to the Discord is below. Happy to see you part of the community. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading, everyone.